Major Ava Remy stood in the flight simulation room of Black Falcon Air Base, arms crossed, watching as 23-year-old Lieutenant Marcus Webb completed a flawless landing in the simulator. Holographic displays flickered across the screens. Webb's voice rang out confidently through the room. Perfect approach. Clean landing. Time: 4 minutes, 12 seconds, he announced, stepping out with youthful pride. Ava recognized that pride, a fire that had burned in her before Operation Valkyrie taught her that true lessons come only from surviving what others could not. "Well done, Lieutenant," Ava said calmly, her voice cool as the December wind outside. "But what happens when your instruments fail at 8,000 feet in a thunderstorm?" Webb grinned, his eyes brimming with confidence. "With respect, Major, modern Falcons have triple redundant systems. That doesn't happen anymore." Ava nodded slowly, her hands clasped behind her back. For 3 years she'd heard this refrain, ever since Colonel Harrison promoted her from active combat pilot to flight instructor. Officially, it was for exemplary service, a transition to a teaching role. Unofficially, after Valkyrie, no one wanted the pilot who returned alone, carrying the weight of 17 lost comrades. "Simulated again," she said, "this time without backup systems." "Major, when would that ever happen in real combat?" asked Lieutenant Rodriguez, his uniform still gleaming from flight school. The question hung heavy, like smoke from a crashed plane. Ava's fingers unconsciously traced the small scar on her temple, a memento from 2011, when 17 of her comrades didn't return, when she navigated 40 miles through an electrical storm with only a compass and dead reckoning, all systems dead. "Simulate it again," she repeated, her voice firm but laced with a trace of pain. After the exercise, Ava walked alone across the frost-covered asphalt of the base. The December wind cut through her flight jacket, but she welcomed the cold. It kept her alert, reminding her that comfort was a luxury pilots couldn't afford. Her steps echoed between the hangars until she reached Hangar 7, where her Falcon 12 stood. Serial number 445, Alpha. Compared to the sleek new Falcons, it looked like a relic, scarred, wings meticulously maintained, cockpit smelling of decades of kerosene and determination. Yet it was airworthy, the bird that brought Ava home after Valkyrie. Etched into the metal beside the cockpit were 4 barely visible words: "No one left behind." The irony stung. She had left 17 comrades behind. Not willingly, never willingly. Still talking to the old bird, Technical Sergeant David Martinez approached, a steaming coffee mug in hand. Martinez was one of the few who knew Ava before Valkyrie, the pilot everyone wanted by their side. "She's good company," Ava replied with a crooked smile. "Don't tell me I'm outdated." Martinez gave a hollow laugh. "I've seen the Falcon's maintenance reports. 14 failures in 6 months. Minor, but still. Falcon 3, all weather-related. Sometimes newer isn't better," Ava said softly, her gaze fixed on the distant Alps. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the peaks glow in the rising sun. Somewhere in those mountains lay the Deutschlucht, a name appearing more frequently in intelligence reports.
Hostile territory. High-value reconnaissance targets. "Do you miss it?" Martinez asked. "Flying real missions instead of teaching cadets to read instruments?" Ava paused for a long time. She missed the clarity of combat missions, the trust in doing something vital, but not the burden of command, the responsibility for other lives. "Every day," she said finally, her voice barely audible. Martinez nodded knowingly. "Some of us know what you did out there." After he left, Ava climbed into her cockpit. The seat molded to her like an old glove. She pulled a dented metal box from under the seat, one she'd carried on every mission for 8 years. Inside was a hand-drawn map, its ink faded, edges softened from handling. Stains that looked like coffee were hydraulic fluid from that day in 2011. Sand grains clung to the corners, mementos of a desert that claimed too many pilots. The map showed the route that led her out of Valkyrie, not the official flight plan, but the desperate, improvised path when GPS failed, radio cut out, and the storm crippled her systems. That map had saved her life. She sighed and tucked it away. Weather reports, training schedules, maintenance updates. But she sat in the back row, half listening as young pilots discussed their simulations. Their confidence reminded her of herself before Valkyrie taught her that flight school wasn't everything. Colonel Harrison's voice cut through Major Remy's thoughts, asking if she had anything to add. The question carried a sharp edge, a reminder of her place. Observe. Teach cadets. Don't plan. No, Colonel, she replied calmly. But as she looked at the pilots' faces, unscarred by failure, never forced to choose between orders and survival, Ava knew she had everything to contribute. They just weren't ready to listen. At 0600, an alarm siren shattered the silence. Ava was dressed and heading to the command center in 90 seconds. Controlled chaos reigned there. Colonel Harrison studied a tactical display. Lieutenant Colonel Janet Walsh reported, "Recon Team Bravo 6 is missing. Last contact 6 hours ago. Deep in the Deutschlucht. They're trapped in hostile territory." Ava's pulse quickened. The Deutschlucht was a nightmare terrain. Jagged peaks, unpredictable weather, electromagnetic interference that crippled modern systems. She had studied it after Valkyrie, noting the similarities. "Volunteer mission," Harrison said. "High-risk extraction. 10 pilots. Hands shut up. Webb, Rodriguez, 7 elite Falcon 15 pilots." Ava raised her hand. Silence. Only the hum of equipment and distant engines. "Major Remy," Harrison said neutrally, "we need current combat experience. 28 missions, 3 high-risk extractions in similar terrain," Ava said professionally. Webb cleared his throat. "With respect, Major, that was years ago. We need modern systems." "Falcon 15s take point," Harrison said decisively. "Major Remy, support briefings." Relegated to support while young pilots flew into terrain that nearly killed her. On the display she saw the flight path through Sector 7, marked yellow for variable weather. For the young pilots, straightforward. For Ava, suicide. "Colonel," she said, "a low-pressure system in Sector 7. "Major," Harrison interrupted, "our analysts say the planes can handle it." The certainty echoed Valkyrie when her warnings were ignored. After the briefing, Captain Lisa Parker approached with a file. "Your T1 clearance is still active," she said. "Unusual for an instructor. Your report shows you navigated Valkyrie after instrument failure." "That was a long time ago," Ava said. Parker pulled out a document. "The weather system in Sector 7 mirrors Valkyrie. Pressure gradients, electromagnetic interference. I reported it, but Harrison trusts the tech." Tech, until it failed. That evening, Ava sat in her Falcon 12, the map open. It showed a winding, safe path that avoided storms, using updrafts. The radio crackled. To Colonel Harrison. Harrison's office was stark. He read from a tablet, expression grim. Concerns about her suitability. Her methods were outdated. Too much focus on manual navigation. Translation. She taught independent thinking over tech reliance. "Colonel," she said, "comprehensive understanding." "We don't fly by compass," he interrupted. "No ghost stories." Her dead ghost stories. I'll adjust, she said. Good. Her exclusion wasn't personal. This mission would separate the weak from the strong. Adversity taught, with lives at stake. Under the stars, Ava felt the anticipation of a mission, like before Valkyrie, when she knew something was wrong, but no one listened. History would repeat itself. At 0700, the briefing. Ava sat in the back, thanks to Parker. Harrison displayed the Deutschlucht. Jagged valleys, radio dead zones. Bravo 6 lost contact under enemy surveillance, he said. 40 kilometers deep. Webb. Enemy presence? Moderate resistance. Terrain and weather are the challenge, Harrison said. Understated. Ava had warned him, was dismissed. Time window closes at 1400, Harrison said. Then a 3-day storm. Lieutenant Colonel Walsh showed a holographic flight path through Sector 7, straight into death. Meteorological data shows a low-pressure system, Ava said. Major, Harrison cut in. Our planes can handle it. To Webb, after the briefing. Lieutenant, navigate by dead reckoning. Systems make that obsolete, Webb said. Failures don't happen. They happen to me, Ava said. Older planes, Webb replied. Machines fail, Ava said. We're trained, he said. Before takeoff, Ava stood on the observation platform. 10 Falcon 15s gleamed, her Falcon 12 in Hangar 7. Parker brought coffee. Doubts? Misallocated, Ava said. Confident pilots, Parker said. Confidence can be a weakness, Ava said. At 0900, the Falcon 15s launched. Major Remy, to Harrison, heard an announcement. In the office was Brigadier General Patricia Stone. Major, Bravo 6 was investigating enemy air defense systems disrupting navigation, Stone said. A drone lost contact. Electronics fried. Your report. Valkyrie 2011. 6 soldiers saved. Yes, General. You're replacing Rodriguez as deputy flight lead, Stone said. Harrison. Her plane's outdated. Stone cut in. I want a pilot who delivers. To Ava. 10 minutes. Harrison. Webb leads. Follow orders. Understood, Ava said. Martinez prepped Falcon 12. Calibrated, he said, handing her the metal box. Ava strapped in. Analog gauges hummed. No holograms, just experience. Radio. Falcon pilots brimming with confidence. Alpha leader. Clearance. Takeoff approved. Weather optimal. Ava's barometer dropped fast. Control. Data for Sector 7. Conditions acceptable. Ava checked the map. A safe route, not the computer's path through the storm. Prepare for takeoff, Webb ordered. Ava launched. The Deutschlucht loomed like a predator. She was ready. 23 minutes later. Navigation interference, Lieutenant Martinez reported, uncertain. Ava checked her map and compass. Her Falcon 12 was immune. Mechanical systems unfazed. Alpha leader, course correction to 270, she radioed. Negative, Webb said. Direct approach. GPS lost, Alpha 4 reported. Navigation computer crashed. Visual formation, Webb ordered. Ava. The gorge has radio dead zones. Radio silence, Webb cut in. Mayday, instruments dead, Rodriguez called, panicked. References, Webb asked, voice cracking. Negative, clouds. Alpha 5. Deputy. Ava radioed. Bearing 310, 7,000 feet. Negative. Static. Alpha 5 vanished. Hold formation, Webb ordered, voice forced calm. Ava checked her map. They were flying into the storm she would have avoided. Falcon 15S reported failures. Abort mission, Webb said. Bearing 180. What about Bravo 6? Alpha 7 asked. Can't help. Planes scattered, instruments conflicted. Ava flew steadily, using compass and map. All units, I see Bravo 6, she radioed. Static. Ava was alone, like in Valkyrie, but prepared. Banking toward the extraction zone, Ava saw Bravo 6 signaling with mirrors. Landing zone, rocky, tight. Prepare extraction, she radioed. 3 wounded under fire, came the reply. Ava circled, relying on instinct. Wind's treacherous, but she'd mastered worse. Smoke marker. Without computers, Falcon 12 descended. Enemy fire pierced the wings. Hydraulic fluid leaked. Warning lights flashed. The engine held. 30 seconds. Falcon 12 landed hard, bounced, held. Ava ran to Bravo 6. 6 soldiers, injured, behind rocks. You're the pilot? The sergeant asked. Getting you home, Ava said. Wounded and gear overloaded the plane. This bird survived worse, Ava said. Takeoff, chaotic, under fire. Ava pushed thrust limits, coaxing power from the old bird, relieved laughter from the soldiers. Return flight. Ava navigated by dead reckoning, avoiding interference zones. The map showed safe corridors, landmarks aligned. Control, Deputy Lead, Medical Aid, 7 souls. No others returned. 15 miles out, final approach, fire trucks, ambulances waited. The base watched as Falcon 12 landed. Hard, but all alive. Ava stayed in the cockpit, her hands trembling. She'd done it again. Brought everyone home when tech failed. This time, they all saw it. Harrison and Stone approached. Report, Harrison said. Interference overwhelmed Falcon 15 electronics, Ava said, climbing out. Mechanical navigation held. Beaten by weather? Stone asked. By tech dependence, Ava said. Pilots unprepared. They were, Stone said. Ava showed the map, faded, precise. Yes, General. In the debriefing room, Ava reported in detail. Stone sat with officers, analysts trying to understand 9 lost planes. Falcon 15s failed due to interference? Stone asked. Mechanical systems immune. Navigation critical, Ava said. Harrison? Planning inadequate? Ava spread the map, faded, with Valkyrie's sand. Weather. Radio dead zones missing from databases. Parker, how acquired? Valkyrie 2011. I documented everything. For another flight? Stone asked. Yes, 8 years, my own database. Silence. Ava had prepared what was ignored. Stone, why 9 pilots lost? Parker, Remy's notes exact. Models wrong. Harrison, not planning on maps. They saved, Stone said. Adversity when? 23 minutes, after I offered course correction. Ignored. Losses, avoidable. With my methods. Harrison, planning theories? Her theories saved 6 soldiers, Stone said. To Ava. Active flight status. Thank you. Why not fight harder? Some need failure to listen, Ava said. They knew. Word spread fast. The instructor triumphed. Elites failed. Pilots asked about manual navigation. In Hangar 7, Ava waited by her battle-scarred, heroic Falcon 12. Martinez brought coffee. Some are finally learning. Tech needs judgment, Ava said. Emergency meeting. 0600. Stone with Pentagon investigators. Ava to probe intelligence failures. Ava showed the map. 17 reports since 2012. Rejected. Harrison's counsel. Unvalidated theories. Parker. 97% accurate. Pentagon data. 63%. Martinez testified. Remy warned. Deemed overcautious. Stone. Why rejected? Harrison. Contradicted. Validated data. Wrong data, Stone said. Stone ruled. Intelligence failure due to bias. Harrison relieved. Remy. Lieutenant Colonel. Active status. Applause. Ava felt no triumph. 9 pilots missing. Stone offered a Pentagon role. I'll stay, Ava said. Teach. Start a program, Stone said. Tactical awareness. 6 months later, Ava spoke to officers. Tech saves until it kills. She showed the map beside satellite images. Experience teaches what data doesn't. Webb, recovered after 3 days, asked, Tech and tradition? Combined, not replaced, Ava said. Rodriguez. Which skills? Dead reckoning. Landmarks. Questioning instruments. The Valkyrie protocol blended tech and tradition. Pilots trained with compasses, without systems. Results. Better adversity handling. Rodriguez saved 12 planes manually. Remy's methods, he said. Stone visited Black Falcon. Thought a relic, she said. Old methods tested, Ava said. Pentagon wants to expand, Stone said. Good, Ava said. Tech dependent? Overconfidence, Ava said. Everything fails. Be ready. At night, Ava read letters from the lost. A reminder why the program mattered. Name it after them, Martinez said. The Lost, Ava said. Valkyrie Protocol. A year later, Webb wrote, Your training saved my squadron. Mistake, dismissing you. Ava placed the letter in the metal box beside the map. Faded, precise. During training, Ava thought of the 26 lost. Valkyrie, Deutsche Luft. Sacrifice taught. A pilot's measure. Bringing others home when everything goes wrong. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the Narrator's Haven. Where are you watching from? Write in the comments.